have with me R.S. Pathania, who's a spokesperson for the BJP, Ikram Sandhu, who's a spokesperson for Congress, as well as Madhavan Narayanan, who's a senior journalist. Thank you very much, all three of you, for joining us. Well, let me just go across to you, Ikram Sandhu. How do you respond to what you are seeing from Telangana to Tamil Nadu? First, of course, the Telangana.
I'll come to Telangana in just a minute, but you've already alluded to it, so I'll just take 1 minute on that. The Constitution is defined by the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was very clear in November 2023 when it ruled in the case which was the state of Punjab versus the Principal Secretary to the Governor of Punjab. And they said that the Governor of Punjab is working against the letter and spirit of the Constitution as laid down in Article 200, which deals with the duties and responsibilities of the governor. Yeah. And they said that he's playing with fire when he withholds consent, nor does he return bills passed by a state legislature. And in the Kerala case, the Supreme Court admonished Arif Muhammad Khan and told him that you'd better speak to the CM and you have no business to sit on bills for 2 years. So this just shows how politicized governors have been made under the BJP regime, because to my memory, somebody can correct me, in the last 76 years, it was never there that any state government ever took a governor to court for stopping them from doing their constitutional obligation. It is only under BJP that state governments have been forced to knock on the doors of the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has to castigate governors. And this is basically a nefarious design of the Modi government. I'm very open in saying that. They use ICE, which is income tax, CBI, ED, against their political opponents. And they use their governors against the citizen of the state who vote against them. It is basically, we will teach you, the citizens of a state, a lesson for not voting for the BJP. Because what happens when you withdraw consent or you do not give consent to a money bill and you just hold it in your office for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, the progress of the people is what is at stake. They will not get money for their clinics. They will not get money for their roads to be built. They will not get money for potable water to reach them. So it is a BJP way of teaching even the citizens of the state a lesson that if you do not vote for us, beware, there will be no progress. The only way forward is dictatorship. You come in our fold and you will get that progress. Otherwise, we will be giving you step penalty treatment. That is what the BJP's game plan is. And the governors, I'm sorry to use, are just stooges used by the central government to trouble the state legislature, the state government, and the citizens of a non-BJP state.
R.S. Pathania, very strong offensive being launched by Ikram Sandhu, but how do you respond to this? There's also another thing that I want to add to what Ikram Sandhu has said, and he has reflected it, of course. There have been some very strong observations by the Supreme Court, case after case, states after states. I mean, you've not had instances where the Supreme Court has had to make some very strong observations against the state governments that have moved it. The Supreme Court has made some very strong observations, and in some cases it's written part of the order as well, against the governors. Stooges is what Congress is calling them. How do you look at this?
Yes, Neha, you put a question to me?
Yes, Mr. R.S. Pathania, it's to you.
Yes, Neha. Let me come to the point. First of all, I thank the Mirror team for allowing me to put forth my viewpoint on the veteran issue. You see, the institution of governance, it is basically acted as a fulcrum for ensuring the process of rule of law, for acting as a harbinger of cooperative federalism, for acting as a fine-tuner of the balancing between two poles. One is ensuring that the majoritarian mandate in a state doesn't run against the basic constitutional spirit. While on the other side, there needs to be wary that the institution of governance doesn't harm the decisive public mandate also. So I think there's a very water-thin distinction, a water-thin Lakshmana Rekha, which the institution of governance need to circumscribe with the passage of time, various commissions, various reports. First of all, the Administrative Reforms Commission of 1968, then Rajamanar Committee, then ultimately the epic remarks of the Sarkaria Commission, and then Supreme Court judgment of S.R. Bommai versus Union of India. So I think we should need to indulge in a debate on a non-partisan way. Instead of casting mud on each other, democracy cannot run while we keep on demonizing each other. You see, this institution of governance has been brought into a serious disrepute. But at the same time, this has delivered too. This is trying to act as a balancing point also. And whatsoever the ills in every institution, you are but natural to find there are laplaces, there are shortcomings. But how could we correct it? How could we put it on a better mark? How could we refine it? How could
What
we
are you
fine-tune
calling
it?
as shortcomings, though? What are the shortcomings? What are you talking about?
This is the basic term. There's no two opinions about it. That when I'll start with the various Congress governments, where from the need arose. See, this is the 1968 Administrative Reforms Committee. Bharatiya Janata Party was not there. Then Rajamanar Committee of 1969.
I get that, Mr. Aris Pathania, and we'll get to that. But at least respond to what the charges are, respond to what the allegations are. We could come back to you in your introductory remark. You don't need to go into the history of what has happened. I mean, let's start with where we are right now, and then we will proceed. We have enough time on the show. Don't worry. You will get your chance.
Sneha, it's an open fact that popular governments were brought down illegally and unconstitutionally by various governors, and particularly during Congress rule, during 60s, during 70s, and particularly in 1980 when Indira Gandhi ji came to the power, and the infamous government dismissal of N.T. Ramarao in 1984 also. This holds out as a big blot on the constitutional spirit and on the role of and the functions of governors as envisaged by the Constitution of India. Secondly, governors have repeatedly withheld assent to very important bills, and that is money bills, thereby frustrating the very letter and the spirit of the Constitution also. Thirdly, inviting unwanted political formations and alliances to form governments, denying.
So are you saying that BJP is carrying on the political legacy? Are you saying that? You're doing what it is, but you're carrying on a legacy that has happened before also. Is that what you're arguing, sir?
Absolutely not, Sneha. That's what I said, that what happened, how the institution of governors was damaged. It was brought to a big disrepute during various Congress regimes also. Bharatiya Janata Party rule, by and large, I won't say, I should make a fair comment, by and large, Bharatiya Janata Party maintained non-partisan governors, the governors who should uphold the spirit of the rule of law, the governors who should virtually speak, eat and drink as per the spirit of the Constitution. I mean to say, everywhere.
Okay, I've given you quite a lot of introductory time for your introductory remarks.